Keep up to date everywhere. News Talk 820 WBAP.
In the WBAP newsroom.
Continuing coverage now, we join with Dr. Alex Del Carmen at Tarleton State, Executive Director of the School of Criminology, Criminal Justice, and Strategic Studies. Police training expert, Dr. Del Carmen, thanks so much for being here this morning. Picture yourself in downtown Dallas last night, one of the police officers that were there at this peaceful protest. Is there any way to train? Is there any way to know something like that is going to happen?
Well, there's no way to prevent something like this from happening. But police officers last night did exactly what they're trained to do. They immediately corner off the area. They protected human beings that were there that were simply at risk of being shot or killed. And in addition to that, in some cases, they actually put themselves between the bullet and the victim. So they are, in fact, heroes, those that survived and those that perished.
Dr. Del Carmen, how do you change that instinct in a human, the flight mode that most of us civilians pretty much go into in a situation like that and panic? How do you redirect that, or I guess train these individuals, these officers, to redirect that to go to work?
So police training is incredibly intensive, as you can imagine. The police academies range between 6 months to 8 months, and then they have the FTO program, which is about 3 months after that. Police officers are trained to the extent that this becomes an instinct, meaning that when they hear a gunshot or something like this happens, they simply react to it, and their brain catches up to that training at some point, but the training becomes the instinct, more so than the brain telling them what to do. So most of us, obviously flee from the area of danger. They actually go towards danger, and we saw that in 9/11, and we've seen that in numerous episodes when police officers have been asked to defend the loss of human life.
The two police shootings that led up to this, Baton Rouge and St. Paul, whether it was right or wrong, I don't know. I'm not going to be a judge, but I will ask you this: the officer that shot the man in the front seat of the car, the tone in his voice was almost horrific after he had pulled that trigger. Was he prepared for what he did? If you've heard that audio, could you tell something was terribly wrong?
Well, whether police officers intend to kill someone or don't, and whether or not the killing is justified or not, at the end of the day, this is a human being taking someone else's life. And so clearly, what you will expect from that person is that they're going to have adrenaline flowing. They're going to be incredibly emotional. That's why in most police shootings, it is protocol for that police officer to be automatically, put into some degree of suspension or at the very least isolated from the rest of the troops to undergo counseling and to have that gun removed. And so because we know that this is an incredibly traumatic event for the officer, for the alleged victim, and for anybody that witnessed it.
How does an impact of such an event, whether it's 9/11, Dr. Del Carmen, how does that impact these individuals that you're training, that you're teaching, those young minds that are entering this for the first time? Does this seem to be something that is an eye-opening experience for them? Is there any way that this helps them prepare those future officers?
We try to prepare them, and we have simulators. We put them through all sorts of different stages and situations where we push them to think through and to react to situations. But at the same time, the real deal is the real deal. At the end of the day, police officers, when they're faced with these traumatic events, it will change their lives to the extent that in some cases they retire. In other cases, they suffer from PTSD for the rest of their lives. And in other cases where the shooting is illegitimate, they get indicted and are prosecuted accordingly. So their lives will change no matter what the outcome of the investigation is going to be.
Dr. Del Carmen, thank you for your time this morning. I hope we never have to talk to you about the same kind of thing again.
The same feelings from this end. Thank you much.
All right. Thank you very much.